Welcome to On the Patio with Mr. D and Bob. We're going to be doing a whole slew of reviews on products out here on the patio, and this is just to give you some information on these particular items, how they work, if they don't work, all that kind of stuff like that. And after each video, down in the comment block, you'll see a link to where the purchase was taking place. And also at the end, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. So sit back, enjoy. We'll see you in a couple minutes. If you ever wanted to break into the professional game of 4K video production, getting professional looking results, getting professional sound audio, professional lighting, but you don't want to mortgage your house at the same time. With this kit, you can see it's very portable, and it will definitely enable you to produce some high-end 4K video and audio for your clients on a budget. So let's break this kit down and see what it's all about. Today, I'm going to show you the rig that I use for my Paddling Places Florida website, where we go out and we video the proprietors and these facilities and the amenities of all these different kayaking locations throughout the state of Florida, and show you the results that we get and how I did this, how I set it up, and kept everything on a budget. So one of the things you want to focus on is the camera. There's a good budgetary camera out there that does exceptional 4K video, and you don't have to buy the red. You don't have to do it. You don't have to buy the big Canon 4K, 5D Mark III camera. I mean, you're looking at $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. The red is off the chart. So you want to keep it budgetary, but still get the same result. Now that's amazing stuff. I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. I'm going to show you the rigging that I use and where I bought the stuff. First, I want to look at the camera itself. The first thing I looked at was cost and 4K output. One of the best I could find on the market in a budgetary price range, we're talking under $500, was the Panasonic G7. Now, that came with the 14-42 kit lens, and what I did is I upgraded through Amazon on a 14-140, giving me a wider range of where I wanted to go. It actually was a good investment. So right now I have the camera with the lens. I got the lens for $300. I got the camera for $500. So you're looking, I'm up to $800 right here. Okay? In a lot of cases, that doesn't even cover the cost of the body yet. So we're going to keep on going. I have a Lilliput monitor. The problem with that Lilliput monitor being used on the G7 is that the G7, in their infinite wisdom at Panasonic, made the HDMI only playback. Now, that's stupid. Every other camera out there that I know of, I mean the Canons and the Sonys and stuff like that, the HDMI output can be used for an external monitor. But no, not the G7. G7, it's inactive during recording period. If you could do an upgrade to make that thing to where it would work, I don't know if firmware could fix that problem, but I'm telling you, it was almost a deal killer. In fact, if I'd have known that the G7 did not do live video recording via a Lilliput monitor, I wouldn't have bought it. But it's past my return time now, so I'm stuck with it. However, I am not displeased because I found a workaround using an iPad monitor and the image app. There's only one drawback there. It worked great, it functions well. However, the sound level bars, which nobody can answer me yet, the microphone sound level bars, which show up on the 3-inch LCD on the back of the camera, they show up here, no problem. But on the app, as it's recording, they don't show up. Now, along with quality 4K, I would think more than that, audio is critical. You've got to have quality audio, and you've got to be able to control it. One of the things you need to have is a good lav system. Now, the problem is when you're doing this type of business, you need two of them, because you're going to be talking to two people at once, or you may be interviewing somebody and you don't want to use a handheld mic. That looks cheesy. So you may have one on yourself and then on your client. One of the things you got to have in this business is a way to separate and balance your microphones. One way to do that was with the Saramonic SmartRig Plus. The SmartRig Plus is outstanding. You can hook up to 4 microphones on this bad boy. The only problem is you can only adjust the gain on 2 of the ones per channel and then 2 on the other channel. But that's not really a problem. One thing good about the SmartRig is that it has phantom power, but all my microphones are battery operated, so the phantom power kind of is useless. I can adjust the gain on the left and right channel to balance out the audio of the interviewee. If I'm talking to one person, they have a softer voice than the other person, and I can raise the gain up on that one to kind of equal it out. Really works well. This is a must-have for when you're out doing interviews and stuff like that. The other item is the lav mic. The lavalier system is absolutely an essential item in your kit. The lav system will allow you to wire up and microphone up your client or 2 people at once and have them not be tied to a wire. I'm wearing a lav mic right now. You can't even see it. It's underneath the collar of my shirt. And one of the ones that I use, there's several out there, but I use the Audio-Technica, and it's the Pro 88W system. Now, the one I'm using right now is 7 years old. I bought my second one on eBay for $35. And these things really, really, really work well. You can't go wrong with this system. Then the other mic you're going to maybe need is what I call an ambience mic. If you want to get up some ambient sound and stuff like that, and then you're doing an interview, but you kind of want, especially in my case, I'm out in wildlife areas and stuff like that, I can set the external mic as an ambiance microphone and then turning the gain way down. And that'll pick up wildlife sounds, birds, and all that kind of stuff. And it adds a nice mood to that type of video. I use the Movo, and it's the VXR 280 stereo dual microphone. Really works well. It's a budget mic. I think it's around 50 bucks. I'll put all the prices and stuff like that of everything that I've bought down below in the comment section. So that takes care of the audio piece of this thing. The next thing is lighting. You got to have quality lighting. Now, you can go out and spend an inordinate amount of money on lighting. Now, here's my primary lighting system that I use. It's a Polaroid system with metal barn doors. I'm able to adjust the light output. It also has an LCD in the back that tells me where I'm at. It also allows me to adjust Kelvin. Very important. I like the idea of being able to control the flow and spill of light. I can direct it in one area. I can open it wide open. Again, I have 2 of these. I normally don't need 2 on site, but once in a while I do, so they're both there just in case. The next thing on the agenda here is, you know, you have all this stuff that you're wanting to, you mount your iPad, you want to mount your lighting, and you got to put this on a hot shoe of a camera? No, not a wise idea. You're putting so much stress on that hot shoe and this plastic body, the chances of snapping that hot shoe out is pretty great. So the way to fix that problem is get yourself a rig, okay? Now this camera rig, I think was $85. I'll put the link down below. I added a dual leveling system here. It comes with 15mm rods for me to put my Nuier mat box on. And it allows me to mount all the other accessory items, not putting stress on the camera at all. And I mean, I can mount it all up here. Now we're gonna do that right towards the end. I'm gonna mount this rig all up and then show you what it looks like. One thing you wanna do now is to somehow be able to secure your tablet for use with the Image app to give you external monitor capabilities. One way you can do that is with this very inexpensive adjustable mount system. Now, if you've been in photography for a while, you got tripods everywhere. You're like me, you got 4, 5, 6 of them. The only thing you really need to have is a good fluid head, and they're so inexpensive out there for a decent one. Sure, you can buy them on Fredo if you want to spend all that kind of money. What I did was bought a Yuteng fluid head mount. This thing really works great. I've used it out on production on multiple occasions, and it really does a good job. I mean, it's got good fluid motion. You can do panning. Like for me, what I do is I go out to the creek, river, lake, or whatever, and doing the production video using the G7. And what I do is I use this to pan, but this is the one I use most of the time. So you need to get a fluid head mount. You don't have to have it if you're doing static, but I would recommend having it in case your clients move. You can move this and put some resistance on it and get some nice fluid pans while you're interviewing a client or showing their products or whatever the case may be. Then, of course, a decent tripod is imperative. Now, this one I've had, it's a Vanguard, it's carbon fiber. I've had this particular tripod for about 7 years, I guess. It's an Alta, A-L-T-A 254 CT, and it's made by Vanguard. It's never failed me in the field. I've used it so many times, it's ridiculous. But you can pick those up pretty inexpensively, other tripods. But the one thing I would like to advise, any tripod that has that little centerpiece in here is restricting the stance. So get one without it. It'll pay off in the long run for you. One of the next things you want to think about, it's not a requirement, but if you're out shooting in a bright environment, you want to be able to control the lighting getting in towards the lens. Now, yeah, a butterfly hood will work really well. However, an inexpensive matte box will really control the lighting of that particular item. So one of the things that I did, this is a Nuier matte box. Very inexpensive. It has the 15mm tube mounts, which will mount right on your 15mm tubes on your rig. So that'll fix that, and then be able to control the lighting and all that kind of stuff. The next item I'm going to show you is not a requirement. However, it really makes things a little bit easier. And this is a manual lever focus zoom ring. This thing will allow you not to have to reach in, and especially if you have the matte box on, to be able to zoom in and zoom out. You attach this thing right on the zoom ring portion of your lens, and then use that as a lever, and you can just, you're outside your camera and just pull it in or pull it out like this, and it'll give you nice fluid motion without getting that jerky stuff that you get doing it manually. This will give you nice fluidity and get you where you want to go. The last thing on your kit, again, not crazy expensive. You want to pick up 2 articulating arms. They're going to be critical for adjusting the location of your external items on your rig. These things have great mobility use. I mean, you can adjust all kinds of things on this thing like that just by loosening this knob. And then once you have everything where you want it, you tighten one knob and everything is tight. Really works well. This is a great item to have in your kit. Again, I have 2, one with the hot shoe, one without. So what we're going to do now is take all the kit, we're going to assemble it, put it on the tripod so you can see exactly what it looks like. And so we'll be back in just a couple minutes. As you can see here, we got everything mounted on this G7 using a rig because there's a lot of weight sitting up here. So, but we have the iPad going on, the Smart Rig Plus going on, dual microphones are set up on this one, have the lavalier Audio-Technica 88W here, and the Movo stereo mic system is on the other side. The Nueer mat box is mounted. There's the Movo stereo mic system here. The Polaroid barn door lighting system is up on top on an articulating arm so you can sit and adjust that and get it where you want it to go. And the little zoom arm thing, which allows you to really in a fluid motion zoom in and zoom out without having to reach in here. Really will help you out in the long run. I went down and bought some very inexpensive dual level systems here and add some sticky tape to it. I got it from Lowe's. I think it cost me $1.50. And that way I can see the level is there. The fluid motion is all here. And one thing you have to worry about with this much weight is you will get a little bit of wobble. So when you get where you want to be and it's locked down, now you can start recording. The cool thing is when you're running the image app, you can start recording right from on your iPad. Just hit record and then you're good to go. Now, if you do notice here, you get a little bit of wobble. That's because there's so much weight on this thing. I don't care what you have, you're gonna have that problem. So one of the things you wanna do, just as you start in your countdown, you start your recording process and then do your countdown 3, 2, 1. That allows the camera to stabilize. And then you can start your shooting. And underneath this Smart Rig Plus, there's a headphone jack. So you can run your headphones through here. You can hear all the audio and all that kind of stuff. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very budgetary setup. You can see how it could really do some very, very professional looking and sounding videos for your clients. And you're not into this thing for $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $10,000. You're into this thing for around, I'd say maybe 15, if that much. What I'll do is I'll try to total it up towards the end of this video and then put the estimated totals on this video. One of the things I did do is when I bought some of this stuff, I bought it used. I mean, that makes sense. As long as it's not broke, like the Audio-Technica lavalier system, they sell for, I think it's $169 or something like that now. I picked this up on eBay for $35 on an auction bid. So you can be real smart about this thing and be able to keep your budget and then produce some really, really outstanding video productions. All in 4K, all with excellent audio. So this is Mr. D on the patio. See you next time.